Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Chantal. If you've never met me before, hi, how are you? So I came up with a fun little series to try to get to my TBR in a bit of a different way. I don't know if someone else has done this before. I couldn't find anything on it, but if they have, then I'm sorry. I will let me know and I'll fix that. But it's nothing special, but I thought it would be fun to make videos based on the color of covers, because so often people are doing reading romance for a week, reading fantasy for a week, but I tend to get bored really quickly with reading the same genres, and I often feel like I want to be able to change it, but then you're stuck in making a video and you can't really do that. So I think I'll be either calling this the color challenge or the rainbow challenge. I'll pick a color and only read that color of book covers for 2 weeks. I was thinking of either doing 1 or 2 weeks, but I'm a slow reader, so yeah, there's that. I want to be able to get through and take some books off my TBR. So yeah, I think I'm just going to start with the colors of the rainbow, because that feels like a good starting point. If I don't have any books in that color, then obviously I won't be reading any books of that color. But since we're starting with the rainbow, in this video I'll be reading books that are only red, so only books with red covers for the next 2 weeks, because I'm a slow reader. If you're faster, then you can obviously just do it for 1 week. And I made a few rules, okay, just for myself. And one of the first rules is that the cover needs to be at least 50% red, or the other required color, but since today's video is red, it needs to be at least 50% red. So the main color should be red, otherwise it doesn't count. I am not allowed to buy any new books for these videos, because otherwise that ruins the point. If I don't have any green books, I will just be skipping green, because otherwise I'm not getting to my TBR, I'm just adding to my TBR, and that is not what we want. Now this rule might be a bit pushing it, but since I'm the one making the video, I can do what is my rules, okay? My one rule is that if the sequel in the series is in this example red, then I'm allowed to read the first book for the video as well, if that makes sense. Just to not limit myself to only reading standalone. So I have an example here, I have A Violet Ends, that one is red, right? But Despite the Light is black. But since the sequel is red, I will still be allowing myself to read These Final Delights, as long as I read A Violet Ends in the same video, because then I will still be reading a red book. But I need to be able to read the book before that to be able to read the red book. Now, if it's a trilogy and the third book is red, I probably won't be doing that. I haven't found any red books where I have that, but if the sequel is red, I'm allowed to read the first book in the series as well for these videos, just to give myself more options. And then I personally won't be doing any rereads, because like I said, this is just a fun way for me to get through my physical TBR in a bit of a different way, and to mix the genres I'm reading, while also having a fun theme to keep myself at. And yeah, I will be reading red books only now for 2 weeks. Funnily enough, the last book I read was also red, so I already accidentally ticked off one book that I had on my TBR for this video. But yeah, I will either be reading for 2 weeks or until all the red books are off my TBR. If I don't have any red books, I might be getting a little bit less picky with how much red they have to be. But it all depends. I just want to see how it goes. My goal is to have at least read only books that have at least 50% red on the cover, because otherwise I could just be reading anything. And like I said, first in the series we're just going to be going through the rainbow. So today's video we're only going to be reading red books for 2 weeks. If this sucks, then oops. I realized that for red I don't have that many books that I can make fit in this challenge way to get through my TBR. But I found these for, obviously this one is not red, but the sequel is. Like I said, I will be allowed to read the first book in a series if the sequel is the color that I'm currently reading. So we have Felix Ever After, which is definitely red in my opinion. It could be a bit more orangey, but I'm counting it as red. I'm sorry if you don't agree. Then we have this special edition or collector's edition of Six of Crows, which yes, it's black, but all the details are red and it has sprayed edges. And then Our Violent Ends is reddish, like dark red in my opinion. I know it could also be brown, I guess, now that I'm looking at it, but I'm counting it as a very dark red. This is gonna be so controversial with colors. I also have technically I have red, white, royal blue, but I feel like this is not enough red. Does that make sense? Like, I don't know, and all of these books I've read, if I would be allowing myself to do rereads, I would have had so many more options, because we have like these Deadly Games, Housemaid Secret, like A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, The Near Witch, you know, like I would count this as red even because the main color is red. You know, like we would have had more options, but like if you take a quick glance at my TBR card, like this side alone, like there's not enough red, there's not more red. So yeah, these are the books I'm working with. I think I'm gonna start with Six of Crows. I don't know, I'm very scared of this book. Like, but look, it's red, okay? And yeah, I'm very scared of this book. But yeah, this is what I'm going to be focusing on reading, I think. Unless I come across something else, I might do another like look to my TBR card, because I'm like, you know, like this one, and like it's not red, but it has red in it, but I feel like it's not enough red, you know what I mean? Like, so I'm kind of like trying to determine still what I consider enough red and what I do not consider enough red, because even here, like, there's not more red. You see, like, that's the issue. But you know what? We're gonna start with these books. I've had these books for a long time, so I'll finally have a reason to read them. Also, I'm sorry if the house is messy. Like, if you have a dog, you just know, like, there are like dog toys everywhere. It's insane. So yeah, these 4 books are on it. I might start with any of the fantasies, just so I have like a palette cleanser in between. Why am I hitting them? But yeah, I might start with a fantasy book, then have a palette cleanser in between, you know, like, we'll see how many I get through. We'll see. I give myself 2 weeks. Right now it's the 1st of October, so let's see how long it takes me. I've decided to start reading Six of Crows. I'm really scared. To be honest, I'm genuinely terrified. Like, I've heard so many things about this book, and I've had it on my TBR for so long, and I'm really intimidated by it, but it's red, so we don't have an excuse not to read it, especially since I don't have that many red books on my physical TBR at the moment. So yeah, we're reading it finally after like 2 years maybe. I'm way behind, and I even have the collector's edition. I feel bad for not having read it earlier, but we're gonna read it, and I won't be giving any spoilers in this video, but I will give you my thoughts on it as we go. I am not that far into Six of Crows yet. I think I read like maybe 30 to 40 pages, and but I will say, like, it's very slow at the moment, obviously, because like it's just starting, like it needs some time to pick up, especially since it's a duology. But I will admit, like, I was a bit skeptical to read this duology because I didn't really like Shadow and Bone. I mean, it wasn't bad. Like, I enjoyed it. I read it. I finished it. But I also sold it right after I read it. I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. And that made me a bit nervous to read Six of Crows. And I always wanted to read Six of Crows before I even read Shadow and Bone. But I heard from some people that it was better to read Shadow and Bone before I read Six of Crows. So that's what I did. And so far, I'm really enjoying Six of Crows a lot more. Like, the characters are just a lot more fun. But I'm also, like, obviously very curious to see what's going to happen, because this is a thick book. But what I also realized as well, it's a thick book. Like, I have the collector's edition, right? Like, can you see that? Like, the text, like, there's so much empty space on each page. Like, that's kind of insane to me. I'm like, it looks so much bigger and, like, thicker than it actually is, even though there's, like, a lot of empty space. But yeah, I'm going to keep reading. I'm going to go work, things, and then after that I will keep reading. It's the 3rd of October today. So, like, Mingles Day, obviously. So yeah, I want to get like a good chunk of this book done today because I want to read now, and then I'm gonna read after work, and then I'm just gonna chill. I came back from work not that long ago. I got myself a cinnamon bun, I got myself an iced coffee, I got my book. I'm going to be reading some more before I have to pick up my girlfriend with my dog from the bus stop, because then she will come home from work. One thing I always struggle with a bit with like fantasy books, is why I don't read them as much as a lot of people like booktok and booktube, is that it always takes so long for things to start picking up. Like I'm 80 pages in and it feels like I like the characters, I like the world building, but I'm struggling to like get through to like keep reading because I want to have like more action. And also I feel like it's not even that bad, but I feel like the chapters are rather long, like 15-20 pages, which is not that bad, but when there isn't a whole lot happening, it's a little bit frustrating. But like I said, I like the writing, I like the characters, I like the world building, so I'm gonna keep going. But yeah, I hope things start to pick up soon. I know I should give it longer than 80 pages, so I will. But yeah, I hope things start picking up. Like I said, I'm not a very fast reader. I'm at page 209 now. I'm gonna read some more. It's starting to pick up a little bit. It's still not as fast as I would like, but I'm definitely intrigued and I'm liking the characters a lot. I'm a bit split on like Matthias, but you know what? I like Inge. I don't know how to pronounce these names, okay? Don't ever ask me to pronounce fantasy names. It does not go well. I'm also a bit split on Nina. I don't want to give away too much because I want this to be like spoiler free, but I'll still give my thoughts on the book. So if you've read this book, you will obviously know about these characters, and you might either think that I'm right or completely wrong. So that's always like a bit like, oh my god, I never know what to say. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna be reading because I think it's finally gonna start picking up even more now. And I do want to move on to the next book and read some more like read books for this video, because I feel like I've been on this book for far longer than I planned, but I'm also a bit slow when it comes to fantasy books, to be honest. That's just the way I read. I don't know. I don't read that much fantasy, so since I haven't read it in a while, it always takes me a bit to like get back into, if that makes sense. Okay, so I just finished reading Six of Crows. I literally just finished it like maybe like 10 minutes ago, and I'm still trying to collect my thoughts on it. It was really good. I don't think I've ever fallen in love with characters this fast as I did with this book. I like that like none of the characters are like perfect, you know, like they all have like their own flaws, and like I feel like that always makes characters so much more lovable. The world building was amazing. The whole heist part was amazing. It definitely started to pick up around like page like 215. It became like a little bit more crazy afterwards, you know, like I don't even know. It was really good, okay? I haven't read a fantasy book in a while, which is completely my own fault because I haven't been feeling like it. But this reminded me that I do love a good fantasy book every once in a while. I've read what am I saying? I've read the Shadow and Bones trilogy and I didn't dislike it. I quite enjoyed it, but this one is definitely better in my opinion. Like at least the first book, and I'm kind of sad that I can't immediately read the second book in this duology, but you know what, we're just gonna have to like let this book sit for a little bit, let me digest everything that happened and give me like half a day or a day before I get into the next red book. It's already been a little bit over a week. It took me more than a week to read this, which is also just because I've been doing all this stuff and been working and being a bit busy. So yeah, it hadn't been my main priority. But for the last 100 pages, I couldn't put it down. I'm definitely rating this book 5 stars. It's so good. Yeah, so that was just a quick update I wanted to give you guys. And also, like, this collector's edition comes with, like, fan art. And I love it. Like, it's so good. If you can tell by my clothes, it's still the same day. And right now we're joined by my dog. So I was, like, looking between, if I wanted to start this Find the Lights, File and the Ends, I don't know what it's called, that duology, because the sequel is read. But I usually can't read two fantasy books in a row. So I think the book I'm going to be reading next is Felix Ever After. It looks like this, and look at these edges. So pretty. Yeah, this is obviously not a fantasy, it's a completely different genre. Oh, it has a bookmark in it. Cute. Travel the world, read a book. Wow, gorgeous. How many pages does it have? 354. Okay, I did not spoil myself. Wow. So yeah, it's not that thick. It's like average. Yeah, I don't really know a lot about this book. Okay, so let's read the back together. Felix Love has never been in love, and yes, he is painfully aware of the irony. He desperately wants to know what it's like and why it seems so easy for everyone but him to find someone. What is worse is that even though he is proud of his identity, Felix also secretly fears that he is one marginalization too many, black, queer, and transgender. No, to ever get his own happily ever after. When an anonymous student begins sending him transphobic messages after publicly posting Felix's dead name alongside images of him before he transitioned, Felix comes up with a plan for revenge. What he didn't count on, his catfirst scenario landing him in a quasi-love triangle. But as he navigates his complicated feelings, Felix begins a journey of questioning and self-discovery that helps redefine his most important relationship, how he feels about himself. So, I think this is really cool. I'm very excited to read it. I don't have a lot of time to read this Violent Delights duology thing. But we'll see. I still have a few days left, so we'll see. It depends on how fast I read this book. I'm excited though. I'm very excited to read it. So we'll see. We'll see. I don't have that many red books on my TBR anyway, so it doesn't really matter, but this one is up next. I just wanted to give a really quick update because there isn't that much to say, but I just wanted to say that I started reading Felix Ever After. I've read about 3 chapters, so not that much so far, maybe like 30 pages. But so far I'm really enjoying it. I really love Felix, like he's a great character. And I don't know, I love it. I love this book already. It's like, just the whole thing about it, like it just speaks to me. I love LGBTQ books. But I just want to say that I'm finally starting it. I regret not having started this early. It's been on my TBR for like 2 years, so you know, that's why I wanted to do this challenge to actually motivate me to read these books, because when this is like one specific color, there aren't that many options usually, and it's easier to just not avoid. It looks like there's like a weird shadow there, I'm sorry. This is easier to not avoid the books for like no reason, you know what I mean? Like if I don't end up enjoying one of them, then I finally know that as well. So I just want to say that I started reading it, and so far I'm really enjoying it. I'm definitely gonna keep reading it, and I think I'll finish it rather soon actually. I'm so in love with this cover as well. Oh my god. Maybe a minor spoiler or anything, but I'm only like 30 pages in. But I can't believe that Felix dated Marisol and she called him misogynistic for being trans. Like, what the hell? Like, oh my god, people, I hate people. Just reading right now, I'm about like page 135, and it's not bad, but I will be honest and say that I'm getting a little bit bored with it. Also, I think my throat like my voice sounds fucked up at the moment. I don't know why. My throat hurts. But yeah, it's not that I'm necessarily getting bored. I don't know. It's like I feel like the whole thing is so like what's gonna happen is so obvious to me right now. I mean, I could be wrong, obviously, but that is kind of like getting in the way in a sense. Does that even make any sense? Like, it's like trying to see how I can explain this without, okay, I will give some spoilers, right? Like Felix is getting like text messages and stuff, and like he's like being harassed, and that's like horrible, obviously, but it's like the person he thinks does it is obviously not the one doing it. And that's just kind of frustrating because, you know, like, all the lies and stuff are just gonna blow up, and you know exactly how it's gonna blow up, and like, it's just, I don't know, it doesn't make it that exciting to read, but hopefully I will change my mind. It's not that long. So yeah, I will keep reading it and see if things pick up again a bit and if things get a bit more exciting, but right now I'm a bit split on it, to be fully honest. Okay, so I finally finished reading Felix Ever After, and I'll be honest and say that I only rated it 3 stars. That was mainly because in the beginning I said I really liked Felix, I did, but the choices the character was making throughout the book, it just like, I didn't enjoy reading about the decisions they made and like all that stuff. I like, okay, mini spoiler, like the whole catfishing thing, like that was so not cool. Like the toy with the person's feelings, like honestly, that just irked me the complete wrong way. And I get it, like Felix is 17, he's bound to make like mistakes, but like that's just not cool. And like I said like a while ago, was that the book and the ending and the way it was going was becoming a little bit too obvious for me. Like, I am a bit older, right? I'm not the main audience for this book anymore, because I am an adult. I'm not a young adult anymore. I'm not 17, I'm not in high school. So I will say that for me, sometimes when I'm reading young adult books like this one, especially the ones that have romance in them, it can get a bit like tedious and underwhelming, because like I don't relate to their problems anymore, which is obviously my own issue, not the book's fault at all. But like I said, the character, I didn't like it, like the way Felix treated Ezra, like the way he dismissed everyone else's problems because he was having his own stuff to deal with. Like, I get it, you're 17, but the whole world doesn't revolve around you, even though I feel like it doesn't. And then also, like, sometimes when I'm reading books with LGBTQ representation, it feels like the only thing the character has is their identity or the sexuality, nothing else is being added to. Like, I feel like I didn't learn anything else about Felix other than that he loves art. That's like, you know, I feel like there wasn't a lot of like things that made him him other than that, like, and that, like, I know this is a very unpopular opinion. I know this book is very important. I know a lot of people enjoyed it, and I'm very glad that they did. But for me, it was definitely a lot, like a middle down the road. It wasn't too exciting to, like, it didn't stand out to me. I'm happy I read it. I'm happy I finally read it. But yeah, not my favorite, which is sucky. But yeah, it is what it is. Okay, so I'll be honest and say that it's already the 15th of October today. So I've already been more than 2 weeks. So technically, I don't have time to read more red books in this challenge. I don't have the time to go finish the whole duology right now, if I want to keep to my own rules, which I will say that I think that A Violent Ends was already a bit like too brownish to be kind of read. I tried to look around in my TBR card to see if I had anything else, but I don't. So yeah, I only read 2 books in this video, which, to my defense, I didn't have a lot of red books to choose from. There were barely any there. So honestly, it's not that bad. I was just like, I don't know, I'm not starting a slump. I mean, Felix Ever After might have put me in a bit of a slump. I don't know, I just wasn't really feeling it. And then Six of Crows was really good. I'm very happy I finally read that one, and I hope to read the sequel soon. I'm just not in the mood for it right now. I'm a massive mood reader, so. But yeah, I did technically kind of finish all the red books on my TBR when you think about it. So there's that. From the other colors, like some colors that I'm going to be doing, I have a lot of books of, like blue, for example, pink as well, I think. So those are going to be a bit more exciting because I will have more options to choose from. I think that will really benefit me. But I still think this is a fun way to get books on my TBR without being like stuck or glued to like one specific genre for a video. Like, I get kind of bored when I'm like only reading like romance or only reading like fantasy. So I feel like for me personally, this is a good way to like change things up a bit. So yeah, that was me reading all the red books, or trying to read all the red books on my TBR. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like down below if you did. Don't forget to comment like your favorite red book or what color you would want me to read next. And don't forget to subscribe if you want to keep up with this series or any other videos I make. and I'll see you later. Bye.